Connecting with others will heal your rejection wounds. It's true. The ability to truly connect with others in a way that is profound, especially after years of abuse, years of feeling misunderstood, years of feeling like no one could ever love you, no one could ever understand you, and no one could ever see where you're coming from, is the most healing thing you could ever do for yourself. And what isolation does is it will magnify the rejection and connection will soften it. That is just what it inevitably does. And you will start to even then take rejection less personally. We underestimate the part that people play in healing. A lot of people are like, oh, you need to, when you heal, you need to grind, you need to be on your own. If you lived a kind of life, like one of my videos is, Are You a Child of the Shadow? And most people I think will watch this channel will resonate with that video. But what a child of the shadow is someone who is an outsider, someone who feels like they don't belong, someone who feels like they don't matter because they don't belong, or someone who has felt that way. And when you feel that way, it makes it hard for you to connect with people because very rarely ever do you feel seen. I noticed I started to only feel seen in media. I started to only feel seen through my parasocial relationships, through books. And it's why I loved Matilda so much as a child. But it took a long time for me to truly feel seen and heard and validated in the most profound way, where the love was something I could decide for myself because I connected with other people. People played a part in that healing. It was my friends, it was my community who played a part in that healing. It was the friends I had who helped my confidence, who assured me that I wasn't worthless, who assured me that I mattered, that I was beautiful, that I was important. And I do that for people that I care about. And they did it in a way that magnified who I was, that allowed me to just be, to just exist like everyone has the right to do. You can't do this on your own. You can't go through this or carry that burden on your own. You have to learn to heal and do that connection with other people, co-regulate. We talk about regulating your own emotions, but people can play a part in how you decide to be to go through healing and to be regulated in your own space. Of course, that time on your own is needed, but there's time on your own to reflect, and there's self-isolation because of toxic shame. I need to make a video on toxic shame. There is a difference between those two. I think I was talking about, I think in the first video of this, I don't even know what order it's going to be, but I was talking about how I used to feel butterflies on my stomach, but in the worst way. I don't look for butterflies on my stomach because for me, obviously, I don't, it's metaphoric. My own interpretation of my own experience of it was anxiety. I don't like feeling that way. When I'm around someone I know that I love and I'm supposed to be around, it feels like home. Home. It feels like home. It feels like I belong with them. It feels like we belong together. It feels like we're made for each other. It doesn't feel like I have to become someone else or I have to fit in a certain mold just so that I'm accepted by them. That's not what it feels like to me personally. It may feel like that way to you, but it shouldn't feel that way in general. The people that you love, the people that you care about, the people that are supposed to be there for you and be with you in life and be a witness to your life and be a witness to your experience should make you feel safe, seen, heard, and validated. That's what they have to do. It's what they must do. Being accepted in healthy relationships will rewire your brain's fear of abandonment. I've had abandonment issues as a little child, deadbeat dad. And when I was in relationships where I was really fully, truly accepted, and I was like, they're not going anywhere because a huge part of how I would kind of form my own relationship with other people is I used to be a chronic people pleaser. I also put my people pleaser video there. And I would have myself like basically look at a person, study them for about 30 minutes of conversation, discover what it is they like, what they don't like, and then become that person. And the truth is, it's made me very, very likable. It's made me very like would people say funny or very palatable. But now, like, I literally got on my way to be so authentic that if I'm disliked, I don't care. When I'm disliked, I'm like, oof. Because, of course, there were people who hated me, people who did not like me, but I noticed that on a very neutral standpoint, if they looked at me neutrally, it would be very rare not to like me because I was doing a lot of work to be liked. I needed to be liked. I needed people to like me. And now I understand that that is not the purpose of my life. The purpose of my life is to stand and exist in my authenticity. And the truth is, regardless of how this may even come off, whether or not it makes me a good or a bad person, I always want to do more good than I do bad. And that's how I kind of qualify myself, someone who does more good than bad. Is someone who grows and evolves from making poor decisions, if that is what I'm pushed towards. But I will never allow myself to get back to the point where I'm not authentic. Where I'm at is where I'm at. And where I'll stay is where I'll stay. And where I'll move is where I'll move. It started by truly being accepted. When you are truly, fully accepted for the first time, it changes you in a way that nothing does. And you cannot even begin to access the kind of transformation that happens, like through or whatever that happens through, if you do not connect with other people. Your tribe, the people that you're supposed to be around, the people that you are supposed to choose, they're out there and they're waiting for you. You have to take that first step. You have to take that first step of vulnerability. Take it and see how it transforms your life. And rejection becomes less personal when you're around people who value you. Because the truth is, I started to realize it because of how loved I am and how loved I feel by my audience, by my friends, by my family. If I get rejected in any context, I don't really care anymore because it's like, I realize sometimes rejection mostly comes from entitlement. I feel entitled to this. I feel that I'm entitled to this person. I feel entitled to anyone or anything because I know that I have things that sustain me. When I know that I am sustained, when I know that I have things that keep me going and people that keep me going, I have something to fall back on. It's different when you feel like you have nothing, when you feel like you have no one. But it starts when you truly, my hair is getting cut off. It starts when you truly become like a participant in connecting. It will heal those rejection wounds. It will. Connection provides evidence that you are lovable. Your brain needs evidence. That's how it works. So when people are negative, people just be like, you're negative, Nancy. If all that life has shown them is negativity, who are they to question that? The thing is not just to have a positive mindset. You need to create positive situations for yourself. That obviously starts with protecting yourself, but that starts with surrounding yourself with positivity, and that starts with connection. That's what it starts with. You will have a more positive look on things if you connect with other people and connect with the right people. When you're vulnerable in safe spaces, it dissolves shame. Your shame becomes dissolved. It will drown in obscurity. It will drown and you will never see it again. Because the moment I realized, okay, I'm vulnerable, no one is shaming me. One thing that I hated growing up that would happen to me, I felt like I was constantly nitpicked from how I looked, from my body, to how I walked, to how I spoke. Every single thing about me was nitpicked. So what I started becoming and gaining a relationship I have now with my best friend, where I was becoming or starting to getting adjusted to being accepted. When she would ask me questions about myself, and it would be very specific questions like, why are you eating this? Why are you doing your hair like this? Why are you doing? I would get so defensive. Don't ask me that. Whatever, what's your business? Because that's just what I knew. Because it was so nitpicky from everything I did. They had something to say. And whether or not it was vindictive, it doesn't matter. That's why for me, I don't like unwarranted opinions. I'm that kind of person. And it's that trauma of nitpicking. I didn't ask you. And sometimes, of course, you need an unwanted opinion, like to get you out of a abusive situation. But it's important to also realize that to get to that point where you are ready to allow people to know you, allow people to see you. And that starts with vulnerability and allowing the safe spaces so that you feel less shame. It's why I love when people have communities where for people like them. For example, people who have gone through addiction and then they connect with others through ANA meetings, or neurodivergent people, and they connect with other neurodivergent people or disabled people. Finding your tribe starts with people who share a common experience with you. That's how you start. What are the common experiences that we share? It could be little things from anime. Like I can't, for me, what I've found, I can't even date someone who doesn't watch anime. So what I find, like, I'm dating and we talk about anime, like, it wasn't cool back then. I started watching anime a bit later in life, and I started watching it in about year 10. Yeah, the ending of year 10, which is early for some people. Most people started early. I wish I started early. The only reason I didn't start early was obviously the bullying and whatever. I didn't want to be bullied anymore. I'm not a sub anime kind of girl. I watch dubbed. Yeah, judge me, but my friends accept me. They would like bully me a bit for watching dubbed, but I have ADHD and I struggle to concentrate. But look at how the ADHD led me from my point to this. But I forgot the point. ADHD. But the safe spaces and the connection and the shared experiences you have with people will make you understand, okay, there's nothing is wrong with me. For me, I realized this when I started to make friends with other neurodivergent people. I was constantly, one thing growing up in a Nigerian household is you're constantly villainized and you're constantly made to look like you are horrible, you're disgusting, you're ungrateful, you're reckless. And that's, I would hear those voices to me said all the time. And it was like, I didn't know how to communicate that. The ADHD and the things that I was going through, I was not doing it on purpose. I didn't mean to break that thing. I didn't mean to lose this thing. I didn't mean it. But they never understood it. They just assumed that I was stupid. I was whatever. It was when that it was when I got my diagnosis, and obviously living with people who have executive dysfunction and understand what it's like to go through the world with I wouldn't say symptoms, but characteristics of ADHD and autism or whatever. It changed me forever because I realized there's nothing wrong with me. I'm fine. Like, I used to feel like worthless. It made me honestly want to kill myself because of the way that I was spoken to. Like, I was just like, it was like an assassination of character for me. But when I started to then connect with other people who, you know, would be, let's say, like, you live with them and then you forget like to turn off the fire or do whatever. They don't scream at you. They're like, oh, you forgot, don't do that. They just treat you with a certain amount of kindness and sternness because, you know, the house has to be clean, things have to be organized, but they don't treat you like you're some, you know, product that is you need to want to return problems on. It changes you. It changed me. It healed me. It full body healing. For me, even my relationship with animals, that's why I have a very strong relationship with animals. I'm vegetarian. It was almost one of the first relationships I felt seen in, where I felt like I wasn't judged. My first dog, Stevie, I was crying about her yesterday. I miss her so much. Um, my family gave her away, but I just felt like it was so healing for me to be in that kind of relationship and have that amount of intimacy in the most profound way and like have that understanding of each other. Like, we definitely did not communicate the way humans did, but we knew we loved each other and we understood each other. Like, that dog was like, when I was busy, like, I would be like, because I also do music production as well, hence the music production mic. She would stay on my lap and I'd be working. And she wouldn't bug me. The same thing with my previous cat, my cat who died. She just understood me. So connecting with animals, but connecting generally, it will heal you. Sometimes maybe if you're struggling with people, get a pet. Like my cat, Catchy, he would stay on my lap. He did disturb me. No offense to him. He was a little bit rowdy, but he was so friendly and so. I miss him so much. I miss him every day. But it was very healing. It was very healing. Love heals. Safety heals you, and allow it to do that. For every healthy bond, it will repair your relationship with broken trust. I don't make the rules. Like, for me, I remember having my first healthy romantic relationship. I'm not saying I'm perfect and I have all the standards, but it changed me forever. I used to accept the things I used to accept from men, like crumbs, like dust, past crumbs. It was dust. Then the first time I was in a kind of relationship where like I felt like going taken out on dates. There was at first there was very good communication there. We were bonding. Like anytime I got out of the car, his car, he would open the door for me. I felt like I was taken care of. He heard me. Like he really like would understand when I was going through things. In certain aspects, he would allow me to be there for him. He would provide what I needed, and I could provide what he needed. It was like I remember when I was with him, and I was in his house and we were watching what's the movie? It's where they kill all the racists. Sorry. What movie is that? Actually, no, I'm not sorry. Um, it's the Django, I think. I think Samuel L. Jackson plays the coon. I spilled a milkshake on his couch and I was just panicking, like, oh my god, I'm such a klutz. Oh my god, he's gonna scream at me, like he's gonna be so upset. Oh, because I'm just used to that kind of thing. Then he just cleaned it up and was like, oh, he cleaned it up for me. He was like, it's okay, baby, like, calm down. I was like, wow. I know that's the bare minimum, but like it was things like that that made me like miss him so much. But it was things like that that healed my relationships with men completely. Like and set my when men present certain things to me, I'm like, okay, I can't even accept it because one thing about me, I don't downgrade or I won't allow myself to downgrade. It's up and up here. So usually for a lot of people or women or whatever who feel like oh about with men and whatever they the when you have that one healthy relationship it changes everything because you can't even accept less than it. Yes, it is over, but the one thing I said is he set my standards up. Like I know what I will accept, I know what I will not accept, and for me, given that was the first relationship I felt like I was getting that and I was able to walk away. No one's more powerful than me. I'm kidding, but it made me understand my power. My point is it changes you. It sets you up for success in every way, spiritual success, emotional success, mental success. Community will build belonging and it's the antidote to your rejection wounds. I wish you would go back to the societies that were socialist and that would kill individualism. I grew up in Nigeria and it sucks. It's terrible. People suck. It's not a nice place. I'm just being frank. Especially when you grow up there. When you visit there, it's different. When y'all go for a dirty December and you have a good time, that's great. Someone that lives there, it has many wonderful highlights and beautiful aspects, but the ugly aspects are ugly as fuck. Ugly. The thing I admire the most about it, one beautiful aspect that I always admired, is it makes you very communal. But the thing is, Nigerians are very communal in a negative way, where they're like rape apologists. Like they care about someone, especially like if it's a male someone, they care about that person. What you do, they'll defend, unless you know it's like being gay or something like that. They're really messed up in the head when it comes to stuff like that. But generally, we are more communal than people in the West. And coming into the UK, it was very hard for me to make friends and connect with other people. I don't even I only have one British close friend. And the reason British people are very individualistic, like, and they're great acquaintances. People are like, oh my god, we're not friends. I have so many British acquaintances, like, top to the morning tea, toodles, whatever. But, like, I love the politeness of them and, like, the whatever, but close friends, individualism, they only think of themselves. And I'm the kind of friend that, like, this is the kind of friendships I used to have. And this is how, like, generally community oriented Nigerians are. Um, we would struggle to shower because of how depressed we get. One person will stand outside of the shower and like gist with the other person. If the other person didn't want to be seen naked, we close our eyes. That's how whatever. Like we would sit in the room while like someone, and it's even a thing for me. I struggle to kind of get motivation to do things. So I would be like, can you just sit down and eat while I clean my house? I just want your support. That's the way we would be. We showed up for each other and we showed up for each other. When my cat died, it was one of my wonderful friends, Vincent, who got the ashes and we all showed up there and it's like things like that. Like when like I'm always be one to help my friends move. Like if I could drive, I'd drive them to the airport. I'd show up to their we show up. And for me, when I was in those kind of instances where it wasn't just like enabling bad behavior, which is usually is in Nigeria, like it's communal, but it's very enabling and bad behavior. You feel very stifled. And when I got to experience that in the positive aspect, it was life changing. It healed me in a way that is almost hard to describe. I am nothing without that experience because it I guess I still struggle to connect with people. Yes, I still feel like an outsider, but I at least I have a place where and I know a place and I know people that make me feel at home and make me feel like home. And for a long time in my life, I never felt at home. Um I always felt like I was living in someone like a visitor, not even a guest sometimes. I always felt like I was a visitor and I was always on edge. And to feel at home, it was life changing for me. It changed my life. My last point. Love is not scarce. It's around us. My one of my favorite videos is "You're the most important thing in the world." I'll put it there. It's the most transformational thing, and it's all around us. We're made through love. Not always, but we are our bodies helping us, making us exist, nourishing us in so many ways is an act of love. Existing as we are in our bodies is an act of love, of sacrifice. That's what our bodies is literally doing. They're sacrificing, they're putting the work in to show love and show that they want to live, they want to exist. And it's our love as our souls to our bodies, because I feel like our souls and our bodies are married in the contract to show that love back to our body, be nourish your body and show that in connection. Connect with others. Be ready to sacrifice, but not in the way that you used to before, but in a way where you sacrifice for something that is worth it. It was never worth it before, obviously. You have found or you will find these relationships. Connecting with others changes you and transforms you and shapes you in the most wonderful way possible. And I hope that it's something you find. And I know that with Gen Z, a lot of us are very lonely. A lot of us struggle with connecting with other people. One way you can do that, honestly, you could subscribe to my Patreon and check on like the services there, and I can easily connect with you. I can find other people to connect with as well. But if that's not possible, like you can start with Reddit. Reddit is a great way. I used to like have friends on Tumblr when I was like 12. Like it's little stuff you can do to just make you feel like you're not crazy. You're not just this crazy batshit person who deserves to be alone and isn't worth anyone's time. Your tribe is waiting for you. Go where you are celebrated and not tolerated. It's Asher Lovely Day, making sure and ensuring that you have a lovely day and I'm forcing you to have a lovely day. Like, comment, subscribe to my Patreon. I love you all. I love you so deeply. Have the most splendid, wonderful day possible.
The Medicine Woman.